What's up guys, and welcome back to WBC Builds, and today I have for you this really easy to follow and interesting and beautiful looking Victorian house you can see behind me. So come with me as I show you how I built it and yeah, give you a little showcase at the end of how you can use it in your towns. Without further ado, let's get in to the block types. Right, let's go through the block count then. So bricks, this is our main block we're going to be using for pretty much the entirety of the building. You're going to need yourselves 440 of those, or approximately around that, depends on how much you use of the next block, granite. So I put down 160 as that's how much I've used in this build here to texture the walls, but you can use as much as you want for that in conjunction with the bricks. But the polished granite, you're going to need 40 of those. That's for the little sills under the windows. We'll get onto that in a bit. 64, a whole stack of polished granite slabs. Strip birch, again one of our main building blocks, 101 of those required. We got some birch slabs, 35 of those. Birch trapdoors, 81 or thereabouts. Smooth sandstone stairs, 88 of those. Some sandstone walls, about 9 of those. 40 stone brick stairs, and then 400 stone brick slabs. That's our main roof block. Anvils on top of anvils, yeah, about 6 anvils for the chimneys. Doors, 2 or as many as you want inside, and then for the main windows you're going to want white stained glass at 121 to offer. So guys, let's jump on in, get this building started. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the build. So you can see it behind me now. I've set out the base for it. We'll go over there and measure it up in 2 seconds. Just want to say I've actually set out in a little plot, so I've pretended to put a road down this side and also down this side, and that will come into favour later on when we build the driveway up to the house. So we need a road this side in order to be able to get in to this area and park your vehicles. I don't know, maybe a horse and cart this time, or even just a car. This is being built in a world where it was originally in 1912, so we would have had cars and that. Anyway, that's a bit of preamble out the way. One day I'll show a tutorial on how to build roads, but for now I've just placed it in like this, just as a sort of a base for us to start on. The same with the land we're building on. I've just used a bit of world edit to bring up 1 block high, just so we have a bit of a raised platform to build the house on. So the house itself will be 15 down this side, then you kick back by 4, and then it's a 6 block run that way, and then you've got another 15 down this side, 21 all the way down here, and then you get to the front, and this is where our bay windows would be. So you start on the left hand corner here, go 1 block for that wall, and then another block out, 1 block up diagonally, 1 more block up diagonally, across 4, back down 1 diagonally, then you have 4 in the center here, another 1 back up diagonally, and across 4 again, 1 back down, and then you've got your 2 on the end here. So it's a symmetrical front with the 2 bays, and then you're going to have 3 windows and a door along this way, another door along this side to get into the kitchen area, a window around the back to look out down whatever you've got this side, and then some windows this side depending on where you wish to place the rooms internally. So I am going to do the interiors with a sort of a basic understanding of where the walls will go, but you guys can choose the blocks and choose how you want your interiors based. But I just tend to do it in a basic sort of, this is where the walls can be, and this is just an idea that I can show you. So without further ado, let's get started on this side here, because this is the main entrance in with the main front door, and we're going to place down our first blocks. Okay, so like I said, let's start on this wall here. So let's start at the corner and place down some brick. This is going to be our main building block, and we'll go through later on and texture the walls with some granite, but we can do a little bit now anyway just to get it out the way, because texturing walls is great when you have really bold colours like bricks, because you need something to get in there and sort of help it all out. So before we put any of the walls in, any of the details in the walls, we're just going to flesh out this corner and around the front here, and then we'll come on to actually adding the windows and the doors. So what you want to do is count in 2 blocks from the edge there, bash out 2 of those and place 2 upside down sandstone steps in like that. We then go 2 more blocks over, and then we have 1 block in the center like that, so you've got 3 between here and the doorway. Then you have 3 more, and then another 2 out, put those in like that. And that's sort of the main wall done this side for the basics. What you want to do in the front is build like a little porch. So what I tend to do is put a few slabs down. You can always use full steps, but I tend to do slabs because they're just a little bit neater. And then with that, the doorway goes in here. So we're going to grab out a dark oak door, because these always look good for these Victorian builds. Stick that in like that on the interior. Come into sort of fruition later on as to why we do that. It's mainly so the glass above for the fan light looks a little bit more nicer. And then around that door we can place some stairs up like this. And then you place a white piece of stained glass above the doorway, and then you get yourself a little fan light there. Around the door we have a bit of detailing again. So this is where you get your sandstone walls out and you place up 3 blocks like so. So we'll leave that where that is for now. Move our attention back round to the windows. So let's build up the walls up to the windows. And for the windows themselves, this is not where the glass goes. The glass goes one behind this. So what I tend to do is, in order to create the illusion of having a window box or a little frame around the window, I like to use trapdoors. So these are sympathetic to the actual colourings of this whole build. You can use whatever trapdoors you like, and for most builds where I have like a white window, I tend to use quartz as my main accent. So I end up using iron trapdoors, but because you need the debug stick to be able to do that, it's not the most efficient way of building. This building itself is very sort of achievable within survival, because the blocks and the methods are all actually obtainable. It's just you need a lot of everything, but it's worth the grind. So you can see now what we've got. We've got this nice wall here, built up 3 blocks. So what I'm going to do is move on round to the side here, bring us up to the same level. So we're going to go round and place all of these in. So I'm going to jump back into the video once we've placed it all round. Okay, with that done, I'm going to carry on round and put these other windows in. So a nice little technique for placing upside down stairs on a block where there is no walls behind it. So obviously do it on the block next to it, build it across. So this is where our bay windows would sit, and these are just the little window sills at the bottom like that. No windows in the centre for this one, just a plain bit of wall, but we can add some details to that once we get the actual wall structure up. So we go around like this and add those in, and I'm going to put one window over this side directly opposite that window there. So that will become apparent later on as to why we haven't got any this side, and that's because I'm going to put a fireplace in here. So you don't tend to have windows where you put fireplaces, because you need the wall for the fireplace, or else all your smoke's just going to go straight out the window and you might burn an actual window out. Anyway, and we're going to come around to the back here and count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks, put another window in there, and come round here and bash out that block there. Get ready for the door to go in. So we've got our sort of nice looking house already. This is just the basics of it. What we need to do now is extend these windows up by another block to get them to their full height of 3 blocks high. Not doing that, and then we can get the first course of stripped birch going around, and the little porch above the door, because that's quite a key feature to this build, this nice porch. Before we put the glass in these windows, you're required by law, no, just by this build, to place a wall on the inside. So I'm going to use cyan terracotta to do that, and I'm just going to use a bit of world edit to speed up time on me placing all of that. So I'm going to jump back to having that done, and then I'll show you why you need that. It's to hold the glass, that's why. But anyway, I'm going to jump back in 2 seconds with this whole wall filled in with cyan terracotta. Right, okay, so we're back. I've filled in the insides of this wall now with some cyan terracotta, and I've used smooth sandstone as a sort of skirting board around the inside of this wall. Side note, we forgot to put the floor in, so what we're going to do is just place down some dark oak planks. Right, back to the windows. So you place 3 block high windows of glass in like that. I've gone for white stained glass because it helps give the effect of having windows in there. You can see it, but you can, it doesn't take away too much from the build, and it actually goes along well with the window frames. So like I said, it's time now probably to get our first layer of this in. So we're going to be placing it like this. Now, it may look a bit funny on the ends, so what you want to do is just stick a piece up like that, and it does blend in all right, and at a distance it will look good. Now, the reason I haven't gone for a smooth sandstone or anything like that on there is I like the colour of the stripped birch. It helps, it helps you use other blocks rather than just using sandstone, because for this you don't have to use sandstone to accent or detail the windows. You can actually use birch. So what I'm doing now is building a little roof over the porchway using smooth sandstone stairs, just placed up like that, and above that we're going to be placing the first layer of detailing. So we're going to grab out some birch slabs, place that across there like a little roof, go all the way across, and then come onto these windows here, place 2 above each window, and you've got yourself a sort of hood to set over the window like that. And that is the ground floor on this side pretty much done. There's a few little things we've got to do up here. So underneath this you want to place in some smooth sandstone again, or any block of your choosing there. And then what I'm going to do is add a dark oak trapdoor just under it like that. Gives a little bit of extra detail on there. You don't really need it, but I just thought I might place it in there. So moving on now to our first bay window, what we need to do is bring this brick up like this. Probably put a bit of detailing in with some granite, which we forgot to do around the rest of the building. I know, silly me, but it's alright. You just go back round, add a bit in once you're done with the whole walls. It just helps with that little, take the edge off a little bit. So grabbing back out our birch trapdoors like so, placing those against the wall and opening them up. Now we only have those along the front window for this, because these side windows require something like this to be done. So you place one pane back like that and another one in front. On the inside you place your internal wall up, or you can use brick still. It's all entirely up to you. I don't mind just doing it like that, because if you look at it from the front it looks fine. Look at it from the side, it can look a little bit iffy. So for this case, just place brick on the inside like that, and you lose that issue of having it look like the inside's on the outside. So same again in here, build up the inside so you've got your walls to be able to place that on. Place your skirting board underneath the window, and hey presto, you got yourself a bay window. I know, it looks pretty good. So that's where we're at with that. Now you want to come around with your stripped birch. So we're going to have to place a block like that and a block like that to get your angle on there, and then the same again this way. So you can leave it like that with the edges showing, or you can have it sitting up like that. It's entirely up to you, because it does all blend quite nicely together. At a distance it doesn't look bad at all. You know what, we're going to do it like this because I'm a maniac, and I think it looks a lot better sort of sitting up like that. So to be able to do that, you put the trapdoors down, shift click and place it down like that. So that's our first section of the bay window done. If we come round to this side here, build up this wall like so, bit of detailing in there, always with the detailing, and now place this internal window, the side window in here like that, and then you have yourself a bay window. So we're going to rinse and repeat that on this side, and then I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll start doing the back ends. So I'm going to jump out, jump back in once that's done. And there we have both bay windows sitting here looking fabulous. So in the front here is going to be a nice little garden overlooking the road, so you'll get a nice little bit of protection there from the outside world looking into your insides. Like I said, we're going to go around to this side now, have a little go with this. It's just a basic build up and place more bricks and the window around there, and the same with that. This all gets a little bit blank on the walls, but that's mainly just because it's all brick. There's not much you can do about that. So when we come to, when you come to placing this in your world, and if you have a really nice little garden to put it in, or a big plot of land, then that's perfectly fine, because you end up losing a lot of this brick to bushes and different coloured sort of flowers and just more leaves. Tons of leaves, always use leaves. So this window here, same again, trapdoor, 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 up like that. And then to get the top birch bit on, shift click and shift click, and now we can carry that round. So like I said, we've gone for the face up version now because that looks so much better when sitting on there. I don't know what I was thinking before. Well, I do know what I was thinking, because when I built this in creative I was using wood instead of logs, therefore you haven't got the end pieces, and that's me trying to cheat you out of a good thing. So ignore me, ignore past self, and just carry on as we're going. So there we are, like that. We'll come back and do this little side door in 2 seconds. Gonna go stick all the internal walls in, and then we'll come back round to that door and I'll let you guys see what we're doing with that. Right, and we're back. So coming down to this little kitchen door, same as the front really, placing down 2 by 3 slabs, and then on top of those slabs, what we want to do is place one more block there. Across this, put the top of a little porchway, and then grab out some birch stairs to place, birch fences there to act as little columns rather than these bigger columns around the front. So you want to go grab yourself another oak door and stick that so it's slightly inside. I know it opens the wrong way, it opens outwards, but it just looks a bit better in the door. So that's this main level, sort of the bottom level done. All you've got to do now is go around where you aren't too happy with the amount of brick, bash out and put in a few more pieces of granite. But yeah, I think it's time for us to move on up to the first floor, and we're going to get on and see how that goes. So the first thing you want to do is go around and grab out some polished granite. So that's right, we're using polished granite now as the base piece of the top floor windows. So this window up here is going to be 3 blocks wide. The other two are still 2 blocks wide, as with the base level, and you're going to go around to do the same with all of the windows. So all of the windows go around and put another 2 blocks on top of them, because these are going to carry on up. Actually this side is not, because this, where you see the edge of the roof there, this is going to be a single story extension, and then this main part of the actual building goes on up to be the first floor. So on top of this, you want to go around and put another layer, another course of brick, stopping here where that wall matches up like that, and we'll sort out that later on when we come to this roof section. And then you want to go around and do the same with this, so you bring it on into that internal wall like that. Same in here, fill in all of these little holes, come on round to do on the bay windows, and we'll do it like that. So we've now got the first course of bricks on our upper story, and now it's time just to fill in the walls again. So these windows are going to be the same height, 3 blocks high, because 2 by 3 windows for any sort of Victorian build is the ideal size. They give you the much sort of space to put some detail in, and they aren't too overpowering. So I used to build buildings with 1 by 3, and they would always look a bit weird. They would look a bit too tall and skinny for what you're trying to achieve in Minecraft. So here, this window is the only real difference we have apart from the bay windows. So this one is 3 by 3 high, so it's a square, and inside we're going to place the same again, those trapdoors on the outside edges. On the inside we're going to place some sandstone walls like that. So on the internals, what you want to do is come around and place your stripped birch up like that. So you don't have to keep that there. You can move, put a skirting board around again. But what happens now is this stays on the internal bits. I know it doesn't look amazing when you want to place different colours inside, but it gives you the idea that this window has a bit more depth. So you place that up against that, look at it from the front, gives that little bit of extra detailing behind. Right, okay, so all the windows on this side now been completed up to the same level. Now it's time to come back round and do the bays up to the same level again. Following on from the same mantra as the base, you've got your 3 blocks by 2 blocks, trapdoors along the edges, and then for these side windows, you've got your internal blocks like this to act as that edge. Now, I haven't really discovered a better way of doing bay windows. You can always change the middle block for 1 block if you wish to have the building looking slightly smaller. For me, I'm happy with having it like this, because like I said earlier on, you get your extra bit of detail in there when you get your trapdoors on either side. So building that up like that, same again in here. Quite a lot of glass used in this. It doesn't look like it from the outside because there's quite a lot of brick, but we have got quite good looking windows. So that's that bay window built up to that side. I'm going to do the same over here. So building up this the same again, up like that, and then the same in here. Right, so that's all of these windows around this side built up to the same level. We're going to do this side later on when we come around to doing this little bit of roof. So now it's time to place the final course of bricks around the top. And then what we want to do is, at this window, put those 2 down again so we get a nice purchase on it, and shift click, and not fall through the ground. Shift click again, and you want this like this. So instead of having a whole band around it, we just have this single 2 blocks above it, and then on top of those at the halfway point you place the same again. So we've got these little hoods over the window. Only difference here is the middle window, which you will do with like that, and then same again there, same again there. And we're going to have a slightly raised hood on this one, a bit more of a prominent feature there, and I think that looks good. That's a nice little detail that just sort of adds a bit of extra Victorianness. That's not a word, we can't use that word. So coming around and doing the same here, and it's the same on the bays as well. So you place that like that, that like that, and that like that. I forgot to mention we need to put, oh god, this is awkward. It must be quite hard to do when standing down as well. We forgot to put the little hoods above the windows down here, so we're going to go back around and do those. So it all just keeps it in shape and style, and it gives that extra little bit of detail, just helps break up the flat faces a little bit. Not that it really needs breaking up, it's more of just a nice to have, and the colours all match together so you don't lose anything from it. If it was like a garish acacia wood on there or some stone, then I would probably say no to doing it. But because we can get some birch in there and it adds that extra little bit of birchness, it just works quite nicely. So I'm going to finish this up and then we'll move on to the back so we can sort out what we're doing with that roof over there. Right, so we're back round to this side now. I'm going to pull the wall across like this. That connects in there. Place up this wall and fill in this whole wall now. It's going to be a blank wall because up against it we're going to be building a roof. So it's a single pitched hipped roof, which is what kind of the same as on the actual main roof of this building. So a hipped roof is where you sort of have a shallow pyramid. It's not like I tend to build them out of slabs instead of stairs because they just look better in that sense. So you haven't got this huge high pitched roof. So what I've done there is gone round and added a little lip of stone brick slabs. I'm going to do the same again all the way up until we reach the roof. Until we reach the wall. Now, what you want to do is go around as well, and on the corners, add in some polished granite, whatever it's called, slabs. That's the word. And these will form your sort of corner stones, and it'll be the same when we get to the main roof. So slabs are obviously annoying, and they aren't that easy to build with because of the way they are when you place 2 down. And the top one breaks if you break the wrong one. Oh, it's so annoying. But like I said, you get a different sort of pitch to the roof, very much more Georgian and Victorian style, which is kind of what we're going for here. You wouldn't really guess, but yeah. So building up like that, corner to corner, another one there, and then when we get to this height, what you want to do is put it across like that, and the same like. So that becomes your top piece, and then you put a little bit of a trough down there, and that's just very common of these types of buildings. So we're going to fill in the rest of these little bits like that. But that's your side roof like that. I think that looks quite nice. It's a good little roof. Covers this up quite nicely. I tend to leave these corners empty. You can place in the little thing like that. It can work still, but I feel straight edges on roofs, there's something wrong with it. Now I don't know what it is, but I tend to omit that little corner piece. Don't know why. It's been something I've been doing for a very long time. I can't tell you why, and I can't tell you the reasons why I started it. But yes, so it's time now to place in the last course of bricks. So this is on your list of how many bricks you need, and this will be your last course going around like so. Obviously we'll come back round and pepper these walls with as much granite as you can, just so that it gives that sort of weathered old look. And then on this course we're going to be placing an upside down course of smooth sandstone, running that all the way around, even on the bay windows. So for these corner bits I tend to face it forwards, because that's the direction you tend to look at these. Gives that better impression of a circle for a window. Right, now it's time for us to put a bit more detailings in the walls before we move on up to the roof. So I'm going to jump around, do that quickly, come back to the video once we've got that little bit of extra detail done, and I'll talk you through a few other little bits of detail I've put around the build. Okay, so we're back. Now what I've done is I've gone round, added a couple of drain pipes on. Been using dark oak fences for that. Just gives a nice little impression of a darker sort of steel coloured drain pipe. You can always use walls as well. I just prefer using the fences because they aren't as thick. That just seems really thick to me. Using this, it doesn't look too bad when it's welded to the side. You can always omit using it at all, but it just gives that extra realism look to it. Done 2 round this side as well, and you can also notice I've added the chimney nubs. So this is where the chimneys are going to go. Fireplaces will be inside here, maybe 1 block wide just there, another one just here next to this window. So you got quite a bit of space inside. It's not massive, I'm not going to lie. It's not a huge house, it's a manageable house. You can fill this up quite happily, have quite a lot of stuff in it, especially if you're using it as your sort of house in a survival server. So what we're going to do is go around. I'm going to do the chimneys first, add another block high, so these chimneys are 2 blocks high, and then place an anvil on top of all of them. So people use flower pots mainly for chimneys. I use anvils because I'm a little bit strange. Now I like the shape they give, and I like the colour they are. They're very contrasting to everything else you have because they're just these jet black blocks. So sitting up there on top of a house like this, these chimneys do not look dauntingly small, if that makes sense. Look at them, they look perfectly fine. So that's why I use anvils. A lot of people, like I said, use flower pots. So the house itself is now ready for a roof. What we're going to do is put the main hipped roof on first, and then come to the sort of more difficult part at the end with these 2 little bits of bay windows, because the roofs here are a little bit complicated. I want to make sure we got the whole roof on first, so you get an understanding of how those 2 bits go in. So let's jump in to the roof. So exactly the same as the roof below, going around with different courses of slabs. So end here for this first course because, like I said, we'll get on to how we do these bits in a second. So I'm going to go around and add in the first 2 courses, and then jump to a little bit of a time lapse just so the roof gets done a little bit quicker, because it's just going up in concentric squares. So like that, with your first bit of granite in the corner. Same again, between the 2 chimneys you omit the chimney blocks, so you keep them, you know, like that, and it just makes them blend into the roof a bit nicer. And yeah, the corners are also left off like below. The reason I was using polished granite is because you can use bricks as your accent on the roof, but because this building already has so much brick in it, I thought better to use something a little bit more subtle. So I'm going to jump into a little bit of a time lapse, get this done up, and then we'll come on to the main roof at the front. Okay, right, that's the roof up. It's looking good. We've got this hipped roof going on, the pattern goes up. Yeah, it all fits in well. Let's have a look down here from the road, get a better understanding of what it looks like. Yeah, so it's sort of a pyramid shaped roof, but it's because of its low pitch, you don't get this huge dominating feeling from it. This house is starting to really take shape. Like I said, all we've got left to do is these roofs on top of here, and then I'll show you guys how I do the inside for this one, and then we'll put a bit of garden around it so it's all tickety-boo ready to go. So let's have a look at these roofs then. What we're going to be doing is using stairs for these ones. Yes, you heard me right, stairs. So grab out some stone brick stairs, and then also some granite polished stairs. Now follow me like this. So you go around one on the corner, and then same again like that. Back one, and then you do one like that. So the granite one needs to go on this block here. Then it gets tied back in with another stone brick stair like so. So we'll go through that in 2 seconds. Right. So you've got 4 stone brick stairs at the front, one corner bent like this, another corner bent back on itself onto a polished granite stair on the edge of this bay, and then we place that one back in like that. Between these 2 windows, it's going to be filled up with stone brick slabs until you reach back to this point, and then it's back to stairs again. So what this does is it sort of brings a different pitch into the roof, because these windows, these bays, have a different roof to them, and this just helps with that aspect of it. So above this, we're now on to, oh, we don't want to do that. Don't do that. So above this, fill in 2 more bricks, and then you place 2 blocks like that, and you've got to try and tie them into each other. So what we need is, I'm very clumsy sometimes, so we need to bring it around like that, and then you place another granite stair on the corner. So we're following up the corners again, like we did with this side here. So what happens now is you remove that one there, and that becomes a stair. So what we can do is tie this roof back in, so that becomes like that, and it's all starting to take shape. Stop me if I'm going too fast. So what's happened here is we've gone up now with some stairs. We've got a little peak up here, and we're going to carry on down this side. So stone brick stair, back on to a granite stair, coming back around again onto a stone brick stair, and the same again, tying in like that. When it comes to this, stone slab, across the middle like that, without destroying too much, back into there, and rinse and repeat on this bay. And so what happens now is on top of this, you place probably another brick if you have some more, and then we go for some granite like that, and you pull it back on itself using stone brick stairs, and that somehow, trust me, blends in with the roof like so. So it looks a little bit odd, I'm not going to lie, but do you know what? It's the best way you could possibly try and do this, because this is a really, really complex roof of using slabs and stairs to try and tie things back in on each other. But do you know what? I think it works. So we'll try that again over here. So brick, brick, granite, granite, and then your stone brick stairs all the way back in to the roof. Same again here, and hey presto, you've got yourself a finished building. So that wasn't too hard now, was it, guys? So leave a comment below saying how much you didn't follow, or how much I need to slow down on this, but I think that turned out quite nicely. So we're going to jump inside in 2 seconds, and then we'll show you where the walls go, and then like I said, we'll jump back outside. I'm going to do a little bit of detailing in a small little time lapse, and then I'll showcase it off at the end. So we're going to jump inside now. Right, so we're inside. I'm geared up with my trusty smooth sandstone, and I'm just going to go around and place in the first bit of wall. So what this room is here is a very long thin room that is going to become sort of the main drawing rooms. So we're going to separate it off like that. So this is the main study, and this room at the back will be opened up like this. So in Victorian houses, the idea is the house isn't constrained by the laws of sort of older generations. In that sense, is each room doesn't have to be symmetrically sized. So you come in here into the entrance hall. Going to grab out some stairs. Going to use a spruce stairs just to add a little bit of extra colour. And these stairs are going to go up like this. There we go. So the stairs come up straight up like that, and we can close this bit back off. So you're coming up the stairs, and then you come into the front door. You've got your stairs there. You have a doorway into the main reception room, and then this is all going to be cut off like this, because that will be the kitchen / dining room. Yeah, it's a bit of a bit more modern interior than I would like, but yeah. Then you've got your entrance hall here, which is quite nice. Your staircase, which will be hidden away on that side as well. So you walk in, you come through here, and you go through a cloakroom. Wow, not even a cloakroom. You go through this for a little bit, and then you go into the kitchen area. Like I said, this is just my setup. You guys, when you build it, do whatever you want inside. We'll place a fireplace right here where the chimney is. So what I'm going to use for this is just polished granite. Lovely, and that's your Victorian fireplace, beautifully placed like that. So I'm going to leave the insides for now, because this is probably as good as it needs to be in order for you guys to get an understanding of the size and shape. You can do wonders with keeping your rooms interestingly shaped with lots of different angles. Helps with all of that. Right, let's jump outside Going to show you a little bit of landscaping, and then we'll call it a day by showing this building off in its actual location in my town. So stay tuned, we're going to get this little bit done in a little bit of a time lapse. Right, and that's us placing the last couple of blocks down now, just to make this little iron fence out the front to keep out any pesky unwanted visitors. So here's the house in all its glory. It's quite a simple one, but with lots of little details and contrasting colours that really do set this build off in quite a nice scene. We've got a nice big green area around it, the garden at the front, the hedges and bushes, and then all the trees behind really does help bring out the pinkness from these bricks. So I'm going to jump in, put some shaders on, we'll have a little look around the building itself, and like I said, we'll go on over to Wolverhampton and have a look at it there as well, so I'll give you guys an idea of how it looks in a town setting. Right, so I'm using BSL shaders, quite a few little tweaks I've done to the settings inside so it's not as blurry as sometimes. But yeah, just look at it. It's come to life. These trees around it, these bushes really do help bring this building into a sort of realistic setting. So it's got a lot of depth here from the side. It's quite a big building when you look at it sort of in its final bits. You've got all of this land around it as well, so you can build it in a plot any size you want. But let's bring ourselves round to the gate here and wander on up to the house as you would do while entering properly. So you've got this nice big gate at the front with these two big pillars using the same sort of blocks as we've used inside. You can see the wall and the hedge around is using a mixture of cobblestone and stone and andesite, and that's just a nice little way of doing a dry stone wall. I believe the building I used as a replica or as a reference had a wall similar to that anyway. So we've got this nice big forest at the back there. It's just growing some big trees just by using bone meal and that. And now we come on round, and this is when you get your horse and cart in, your old car, and you come up to the front door, someone wanders out that way and goes, "Oh, hello sir," right, and then you go on in, take a look on the inside. Should we go, let's wander on in, so you can see the glow of the fireplace there, because the rest of this place is so dark. Gonna wander up the stairs quickly, because we haven't actually looked up here. You do have quite a lot of space to play with. I believe if you want to knock through here, you can have a little cubby hole inside here for doing whatever you want to do. I don't really know. So that's that. Wander on back downstairs. Like I said, you've got the study here, kitchen and that through that way, and then we've got the main living quarters round here where you can look out upon your front garden and look in awe. So let's run round to the front garden quickly, give you a once over round the whole building, and then we'll go see it in a town setting. But yeah, got a few trees lying about the place, big one there, and then you've got these two big bay windows with this vine and tree going up in the middle, and it just it holds quite a lot of grandeur. But again, it's on quite a small scale, so that's why these trapdoors help with any of the details around the windows, because you get that extra colour on there without having to put an extra block down the side. Moving around here onto the little dark alleyway around the back. Whenever I build townhouses or any houses, it's always nice to get a dark alleyway down the side, covered with trees, and so, I don't know, but in real life you definitely always have these sorts of alleyways. So anyway, let's run back round to the front, and that's my impressions of how this house can sit in a sort of plot. You guys can do it however you wish. So we're going to jump over into Wolverhampton now, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in a town setting. And as if by magic, here we are in front of Dartmoor House. That's what I've named it in my world, and it looks exactly the same, doesn't it? So it's sitting here across from these two huge semi-detached villas, and then a whole street of just terraced housing, looking on there towards the town. We don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, so similar sort of idea, wander on up. You've got your main driveway in, you've got your front garden, and then you've got all of your interiors as well. But yeah, so this is how it looks in town. It fits perfectly fine. These buildings are a little bit on the tall side, so don't worry about that. It's not a dwarfed building. If you build more buildings like this along here, it will all fit in perfectly fine. So yeah guys, that has been my little easy to do Victorian house. I hope you've enjoyed it, and like I said, there'll be more of these on the way very soon. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.